You've already learned the first, second, and third declensions, which are the most common of the declensions. The fourth declension you won't find very often, but it's good to know, and you'll find that many of the endings are very similar to those found in certainly the third declension, and you may recognize some similarities to the first and second. Now, the first thing you should notice about fourth declension nouns is that the genitive ending, from which you're going to get the stem, here motus, motus, masculine, motion, that the genitive ends in us. This is actually a long U as opposed to this short U, although most texts you're not going to be able to see it, but that U is going to dominate throughout. So our stem is going to be mot and us. When you see this us in the genitive singular, you know this is you're dealing with the fourth declension. So take a look at the declension of motus, 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 motui, motum, motu, motus, motuum, motibus, motus, motibus. So what are some of the things that you want to notice here? First, as I mentioned, that genitive us, but then similarities to the other declensions. The accusative singular ends in m. All right, the stem, the vowel, the predominant vowel is going to be u. You see it throughout. So um, very much like the second declension. What else do we notice? That the accusative plural ends in s. Right, so all masculine and feminine accusative plurals end in s. What else do you notice? That the dative and ablative in ibus, the dative and ablative are identical, and they end in ibus, so just like the third declension. What else? The genitive plural ends in All genitive plurals end in so here we have this double so motuum. Make sure that both of them are in there. And then, like you did with the first three declensions, make sure you memorize. So motus, motus, motui, motum, motu, motus, motuum, motibus, motus, motibus. Now, this is the pattern that you'll find for both masculine and feminine fourth declension nouns. So masculine and feminine, just like the third declension, decline just this identically. There are also fourth declension neuters. And you'll be able to recognize neuters right away. First, you know it's fourth declension because of the us genitive ending. So corn is our stem, so cornu, cornus, neuter, horn. But the way you recognize that this is a neuter is that the first principal part ends in just u, so cornu, cornus, neuter. If we take a look at the declension, there are a couple other oddities. So cornu, cornus, and then the dative is not cornui, as you would expect from the first and second, or from the masculine and feminine versions, but just cornu. So cornu, cornus, cornu, cornu. In the accusative, just like the nominative, identical to the nominative, and then the ablative cornu is regular, just like the masculine and feminines. And then in the plural, cornua, ending in a. So you're already familiar that neuter plural nominatives end in a. Cornu, cornuum, perfectly regular. Cornibus, cornua, identical to the nominative, cornibus. So the thing to keep in mind mostly is that this dative singular does not have an I. So what are some final notes, some takeaways on the fourth declension? Most fourth declension nouns are masculine. All right? There are a select few, the most important ones, domus, house, tribus, tribe, manus, hand, and porticus, porticus, are feminine. There are a couple others, but you won't run into them very often. But otherwise, the lion's share of fourth declension nouns are masculine. Second thing, there are very few neuters. They are there, like cornu, and also genu, ni, but there aren't very many. And then, what you should note is that sometimes the dative and ablative plural ends in ubus. So particularly when we see this with genu, you're going to see genubus instead of genibus, but you'll find both. So ibus and ubus, the ubus is found only in a few particular instances, but it's identical to the ibus. If when you're declining the fourth declension you use ibus, you'll always be safe. And then one final note is that this is a really useful declension. You can take the fourth principal part and turn it into a noun, a fourth declension noun. So take any verb. In fact, this is where motus comes from. So remember the principal parts of motus are moeo, moere, moi, motus. Take that and turn it into a fourth declension masculine, motus, motus, and it's motion. It's the result of moving. That is motion. Or procedo, procedo, procedere, procedi, processus, 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 masculine, and it is process or the thing which comes out. So if you are learning anatomy, the various processes of the body, this is the Latin, the medical term, processus, and the plural would be processus. So you can do this with just about any verb you find, and so you can expand your vocabulary pretty quickly.